One of the biggest days of severe weather this year is ahead of us. Widespread damaging winds, change-sized hail, and tornadoes are all possible today. Here's all you need to know. Welcome to WBWC. Let's start with the outlook for today. Today we have a 4 out of 6 enhanced risk of severe weather across our entire coverage area down here. This also includes all of Delaware, all of New Jersey, most of Pennsylvania, most of New York, and parts of Ohio and Virginia. This is driven by a widespread risk of damaging winds across New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, and Ohio. This is a 45% risk of seeing damaging winds within 25 miles of any point in the pink shaded region. Now, right now, we have some morning convection ongoing, which in the future could prevent some of that daytime heating that is ongoing to maximize the CAPE values in some of these areas that are seeing this widespread rainfall, like in northern New Jersey, upstate New York, and Pennsylvania, that could hinder the CAPE values and possibly the severe threat later today. The tornado threat is another thing I want to talk about. There's currently a SIG 1 or stippled region outlined for tornadoes across parts of Harford County, but this also extends up all the way into New York City. This means tornadoes are capable of reaching EF2 intensity in this stippled region, so that includes areas northeast of Bel Air, like Fort Deposit, Rising Sun, and Newark in Delaware. Also, almost the entirety of New Jersey, except for this little tiny sliver. So, if you know anyone in New Jersey, you might want to let them know that there could be a tornado threat later today, and it could be significant. Down here, though, we are under a widespread 5% tornado risk. This means there's a 5% chance of a tornado touching down within 25 miles of any point in the brown shaded region. These aren't expected to be too strong unless you're up there towards Bel Air. But as you move further to the south and west, the less your threat is intense. You got your most intense threat for a tornado up here near Bel Air. As you get closer to Columbia, Westminster, Frederick, and Annapolis, you get more, still significant chances of tornadoes around here, but not as much. And then as you get towards DC, Gaithersburg, even further south and west, like Hagerstown, Sterling, Prince Frederick, all those places, you are under a 2% tornado threat, which means there's a 2% chance that a tornado touches down within 25 miles of any given point in the green shaded region. We are also under a 5% hail risk, which means we could have some small hail associated with some of these storms that roll through later today. Today's not the only day of severe weather, though. As we zoom out, Monday, there's a chance of severe weather in the Midwest that will be moving to the south and east. So there is a 3 out of 6 slight of severe weather near Des Moines up to the UP of Michigan. As we move this forward to Tuesday, most of our coverage area, minus Annapolis and parts of Anne Arundel and Prince George's County, are under a 3 out of 6 slight risk of severe weather. Parts of our region are under a 3 out of 6 slight risk of severe weather. Some of our region is under a 3 out of 6 slight risk of severe weather on Wednesday as well. Although, for this risk, I wouldn't be shocked if this gets dropped in a future outlook. I'm just not really seeing it personally, but I wouldn't rule out a possible 3 out of 6 slight risk of severe weather this Wednesday. Let's look at what the models are saying here. As we move this forward, here we are in the morning, having that morning convection moving off to the east, impacting New York City around this time. As we make it to around 3 o'clock, we are seeing strong severe thunderstorms impacting Frederick and Carroll County. These could be impacting as soon as 2:30 in Frederick County, but they will become more widespread as we move this forward. This is our first round of storms here, impacting the northern portions of our coverage area. These will move into areas like Bel Air, into Baltimore City, and we have a second round forming back here in Frederick and Carroll County again. That's around 4:30. These could become, again, strong severe as they roll through Frederick and Carroll County. And not to mention, we do have some storms forming down here closer to La Plata that could move into our coverage region. Around 5:15 is what the radar could look like, as we have severe thunderstorms impacting Mount Airy, Eldersburg, Towson, Edgewood. These are just going to keep moving off to the east and could weaken by the time they reach Bel Air. Around 6 p.m., we are going to have strong severe thunderstorms impacting Fort Washington and Croom. Moving this forward, looks like we could have scattered showers and thunderstorms around 6:45, with some of these being strong to severe, especially near Gaithersburg and Columbia. And these will again move off to the east, could again have strong severe thunderstorms impacting areas just along the Chesapeake Bay near Glen Burnie and Baltimore around 7:30, and they will move off by around 9. As we move this past 9 p.m., we're going to have this line of storms come down from Pennsylvania just around 11:30 at night. This could be an overnight threat, but they will be rapidly weakening as they approach, just because the daytime heating is not there anymore. I wouldn't rule out an isolated strong severe thunderstorm around Frederick County and west, closer to Hagerstown and Cumberland. But for most of our area, I would not be expecting very many strong severe thunderstorm impacts. But if you are in Frederick, Carroll County around 1:30 a.m., could be getting widespread showers and thunderstorms. A few rumbles of thunder could wake you up. These will be moving south and east by 3 a.m. It's really not going to be too much going on. Here we're looking at the wind that could be impacting us from these storms today. So we move this forward. Could have our first strong severe thunderstorm impacting near Tawnytown and Westminster around 2:45 p.m. Moving this forward, this will continue into Carroll County as it hits Manchester. But we have a new thunderstorm forming just near Frederick and Ballinger Creek, moving east. This will become our next round of strong severe thunderstorms. This first round is currently impacting Baltimore County around 3:30 p.m. Now this round will kind of catch up to this one and become one organized line by around 3:45 to 4 p.m. And this line will move through Baltimore and through Bel Air around 4 to 4:30. Back here we have another round of storms forming around 4 to 5 p.m. And these will move on to produce more damaging winds near Bel Air. Down south, we have another round of strong severe thunderstorms around 5:15, moving to the north and east. Over here near Eldersburg, we got more storms trying to form, and these will intensify as they approach Towson and Baltimore. As this approaches Croom, it will also be intensifying. Damaging winds could be expected if this storm actually forms, could be expected near Croom and Chesapeake Beach around 6 p.m. before it moves across the bay. And beyond that point, we're not really expecting any damaging winds. Here's our line, here's our cold front coming down. Really not that severe. And our threat should be over around that time. The RRFSA is a little bit more aggressive with its solution. Let's take a look. This is 12:45. Have a little bit of convection up here to the north and east near Philadelphia. Got some rain going. Could again hinder that Cape building. As we move this forward, we could have our first strong severe thunderstorm around 2:45 up here near Westminster and Manchester. Move this forward more. Here around 4 p.m. This one's a little bit more delayed than the HRRR. But we could be seeing severe thunderstorms impacting areas in Frederick County around this time. Moving it forward even more, just 15 to 30 minutes later, Carroll County, Montgomery County. You guys are feeling the impacts of these storms now by 4:30. And by 5 p.m., these storms are impacting Baltimore County. We have more storms forming down south of D.C. More storms hitting Frederick County. It's going to be a train of storms. So flooding is a possible concern here. And we'll keep an eye on that as the day goes on. Moving us forward again, here's our second round of strong severe thunderstorms impacting Frederick, Prince George's, and Anne Arundel County around 5:30. Carroll County's gonna get back on some of the action around 5:45 to 6 p.m. as well as Annapolis. And the storm up here will be weakening by around 6 p.m., but we have a line going through Harford County around the same time, and that will all move out by around 6:45 according to this model. Then here is our cold front line approaching from the north, could give us some showers and thunderstorms. Can't rule out an isolated, strong, severe, damaging wind gust, especially as these move into Frederick and Carroll County. This is around 11 p.m. This model's a little fast with the front, so we'll keep an eye on which model is more accurate as the day goes on. But if this model is accurate, we could be seeing strong, severe thunderstorms impacting areas like Owings Mills and Baltimore by around 11 p.m. here, and could continue to move through the DC metro by 11:30 into midnight, and really won't be out of our hair until around 1 a.m. So definitely, if you have those NOAA weather radios, keep them nearby. If you have a phone, keep them nearby so you can get those severe thunderstorm warnings. I recommend the WeatherWise app. You can enable the push notifications for if a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning is issued overnight. You can get that alert on your phone. Let's look at what the winds could bring according to this model. According to this model, we have severe wind gusts impacting areas in western Frederick County around 4 p.m. Could move into Frederick a little later, and these will be really pockets of really damaging winds, especially as they move into Westminster. Let's zoom in. See those oranges and almost reds? That is packing 75 to 85 mile-an-hour winds as they impact areas just near Westminster. As they impact Manchester, that is easily 80 to 90 mile-an-hour wind gusts as they impact Manchester around 4:45 today. Down close to Eldersburg and Cooksville, we could be seeing 60 mile-an-hour wind gusts as they impact those areas. So we'll move off to the north. We could still have some isolated damaging winds impacting Baltimore County around 5 p.m. Not to mention these storms forming down to the south could be packing damaging winds near Fort Washington around the same time. And as they move to the north and east, Fort Washington and Croom could be getting hit by some damaging winds by around 5:30 p.m. These again will move to the north and east, impacting areas like Annapolis by 4:45 to 6 p.m. So go over the bay, they're going to strengthen quite a bit there, and could create really devastating impacts near Chestertown and Butlertown on the eastern side of the bay. Overnight tonight, as that line of storms comes down, we could be seeing damaging wind gusts in Frederick by as late as 10:30 p.m. and could even see them reach into Montgomery, Howard, and Carroll County, especially near Mount Airy and Damascus, around 10:45 to 11 p.m. Scattered damaging wind gusts are possible throughout Gaithersburg and Ellicott City. As late as 11 p.m. It's going to move through the DC metro, probably packing 40 to 60 mile-an-hour winds as it goes through DC, Laurel, and Glen Burnie, and continuing to carry those winds, especially the further off to the east you are, by midnight. Past then, we're not really dealing with too much. That's everything weather-related I have to say to you today. A live stream is expected later, so stay weather aware, and thank you for tuning in to WBWC.